Hello, everybody, and you are watching Season 3, Episode 12 of Result Report. I'm Isaac Woodall, and today we're going to be talking about the college football playoff rankings and the first week after it. So, Week 11, the scores, highlights, and you can see the highlights on our YouTube Shorts page. But just everything that's been happening in college football lately and who we think is going to be getting in. And let's start with just reviewing the top 25 before the games this week, because they do not update the rankings until every Tuesday. Okay, so let's start. Ohio State, number 1, 8-0, deservingly so. I believe they are. If anyone's not them, I'd say it's Texas A&M. Just like the schedule has been more. The best resume goes to Alabama. They may have lost, but they have incredible wins that no one else can really say they have. Thing with Ohio State, though, their defense just no one has any breathing room against them. There is no room for error. They dominate in every aspect of the game, it feels like, every single week. They have yet to really be tested, except for, like, you say that Texas game, that was a little close, but it was like 14-7. If you look at the way that Sayan played back then compared to now, it is incredible. And you're probably going to say Ohio State didn't really play anybody. They went to Washington on the road and won 24-6. Washington was just ranked in those committee rankings. They played number 17 Illinois on the road and won 34-16. They played number 1 Texas, and no, Texas is not the number 1 team in the nation at all. But they beat them 14-7. Texas is number 11 right now. That looks like a good win now. People say that like it wasn't a good win because Arch Manning was terrible, but so was Julian Sayin. He didn't play that well either at the beginning of the year, and he figured things out. Now Ohio State, I think, is standing in position where they are the best team in the country. Number 2 is Indiana. Now, they blow people out, so they have the capacity to put up an unreasonably high number of points. They are 9-0. They're 10-0 now, actually. They dominate unless they don't. Sometimes they have challenges, like against Iowa and Penn State. Penn State is 3-6. They were struggling against their backup quarterback, down 24-20. If you want to see the Omar Cooper touchdown again, just go to our YouTube Shorts. They dominated every other opponent. Like, they blew out Illinois 63-10. They beat Maryland 55-10. Like, that's normal for them. But they just beat a Penn State team barely because of the blitz. Mendoza can struggle against the heavy blitz, and it was evident right there. Number 3 is Texas A&M. Some people think that they should be number 1 because of the new metric they're looking at in the college football playoff, which is strength of record, I think. I don't know, strength of victory, something like that. I don't know. It's basically like how badly do you beat the teams you are supposed to beat. So Indiana really is... actually, no. Texas A&M is number 1 in that, I think. I think they could be number 1. I think they have more wins than the other teams above them do. They just don't have the level of dominance that the Big Ten teams do, just because the SEC is just a little more difficult to play in. Number 4 is Alabama at 7-1. I'm just using the records that are the same as what they were before the week. They just beat LSU 20-9. I'm not surprised. That game usually ends up in low scoring when it's in Tuscaloosa, like it was a few years ago. I don't know. I'm not surprised, really. LSU benched their quarterback, and Alabama's still fine. They got another good win. They have Oklahoma next. It's going to be a big game. Like, for them, we don't realize that, like, they lose that and then they lose the Iron Bowl, they're probably out. Number 5, Georgia. We're going to have to go through these rankings a little faster. Georgia looked a little rocky at the beginning of the year. I still don't feel too great about them, but I think they kind of deserve this spot. They beat Ole Miss. And number 6 is Ole Miss, who just beat the Citadel 49-0. They are 9-1 now, and that offense is very explosive. I think the sky's the limit for them. Number 7, BYU. They really got exposed against Texas Tech. I think they did not have an offense. They could not run the ball. They could not force turnovers. They could do nothing good. That game was a disaster. And Texas Tech, who's number 8, just proved that they might be a top 5 team. They are very good. They can win the championship. I don't think they will. But they have also sky's the limit for them. Number 9 is Oregon. I was a little skeptical on them coming into the Iowa game. I thought they'd lose. In a rainy game where a safety technically, well, they had safety in the first quarter, they won the game by 2 points. So, yeah, they almost lost that game to Iowa. That was pretty close, and they pulled it out on a late field goal. Number 10, Notre Dame. I've been saying this. They are a really good team. They just lost to number 18, Miami. 1 week they'll be the best team in the country. Next week they will be terrible. And they lost to Texas A&M by a combined total of 4 points. Like, this is a very good Notre Dame team. They'll be 10-2. They'll get in the playoffs unless they lose to Pitt. Number 11, Texas, is 7-2. They kind of got away. They beat Kentucky in overtime, beat Mississippi State in overtime. I don't know how good they are, but for now, they're number 11. They have to beat Georgia. Number 12, Oklahoma. Same thing. Like, they had a really good start, but they did not. They had a weak stretch, and then now they have to play Alabama. I don't see them going to Bryant-Denny Stadium and winning, so I think they're out. Number 13, Utah. I thought they were really bad at the beginning of the year, like when they got destroyed by Texas Tech. Like, they lost by 24 at home, too. But Utah is still number 13. I think that if Texas and Oklahoma don't get in, they have a real shot to make the playoff. We are not talking about them. And they've been winning, so that's what matters. Number 14, Virginia, 8-1. They are just frauds. Their games are so close every time that they could legitimately be 4-5 right now. I don't know. Number 15, Louisville. They just lost to Cal as well. I don't know who's coming out of the ACC on top. I think it'll probably be Georgia Tech, who is the best team in the ACC in my eyes. Number 16, Vanderbilt. If they win out, they should be in the playoffs. Took them overtime to beat Auburn. If they can go to Tennessee and win, that should be good for them. Is 17, Georgia Tech. I think NC State they're inconsistent. They lost to NC State 48-36. Georgia Tech is a good team, very good team. Number 18, Miami. Like I said, they're inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to see out of them. But they are so behind in the ACC standings that the only way that they are going to get in is through an at-large bid. And I don't see them climbing all the way up there. Number 19, USC just grabbed a big blowout win against Northwestern. Number 20, Iowa fell in a low-scoring game against Oregon. I thought they really could have won that. Number 21, Michigan was on bye 7-2. It feels like Underwood kind of struggles. He throws an interception every game, but he's a true freshman, so we'll see what we get out of him in the years to come. Maybe they can beat Ohio State, and that will give them an edge. Number 22, Missouri, 6-2. They had a backup quarterback, couldn't do anything on offense against Texas A&M. Number 23, Washington just suffered a huge upset to Wisconsin that completely derailed any hopes they had at making the playoffs this year, but I didn't really see any in them. Number 24, Pitt is one of the most interesting teams left in the country because they still get to play Georgia Tech and Miami. So it's very interesting. And Notre Dame. So they could finish 7-5, or they could go to the playoff like 11-2 or something. They've been great since they made their quarterback change. Number 25, Tennessee, 6-3. Listen, I think South Florida should be in the rankings. Not Tennessee. Tennessee is good, but they haven't beaten anybody. Like, they have had chances, and they have not done it. So they are only in here because they are Tennessee or because they have an explosive offense. They're the only 3-loss team in the rankings. So now let's just look at the CFP field with that. We have Ohio State number 1, IU 2, Texas A&M 3, Bama 4, Georgia 5, Ole Miss 6, BYU 7, Texas Tech 8, Oregon 9, Notre Dame 10. And then we have to include 5 conference champions. So the 2 more are Virginia, who was leading the ACC, and Memphis. Virginia is still tied for first in the ACC because that first loss to NC State did not count because college football is weird. Okay, so let's go through who I think has a chance at least to win their conference. Criteria: they cannot be 2 games or more behind in the conference. So you got SEC. Texas A&M is 6-0, Alabama 6-0, Georgia 6-1, Ole Miss 5-1, and Texas 4-1. So Georgia and Texas will play each other. I think that, the loser of this cannot make the SEC championship. It's just not happening. One of those teams is not I truly think so. The important games: Oklahoma, Alabama is big. Texas and Georgia, big, and then Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Texas A&M, I don't expect them to lose. They might lose to Texas. That's a big game last week of the season. And then we also have, just like Ole Miss is playing easy opponents, they should win those. So Ole Miss could get in. If Alabama finds a way to lose in the Iron Bowl, I don't know. But, yeah. Big Ten. Indiana is 7-0, Ohio State 6-0, USC 5-1, Oregon 5-1, and Michigan 5-1. We don't really have that many important games. Indiana is basically a lock for the Big Ten championship. Like, they play Wisconsin and Purdue. Important games here: Ohio State at Michigan. Michigan's won that rivalry for 4 years in a row. I think this year Ohio State gets it done. But Michigan didn't have a quarterback, like a good quarterback at all last season, and still found a way to win that game. So they could. USC at Oregon. I think it's this week. Yeah. No, it's next week. But loser of that can't get in. I think it's a collision course, Indiana and Ohio State. Big 12. So BYU's loss, they could collapse like they did last season here again. So number 1 is Texas Tech. They play West Virginia and UCF. They'll get in. Number 2, BYU is 5-1. Number 3, Cincinnati is 5-1. Cincinnati and BYU will play each other this week. And the loser of that is not going to be making the Big 12 championship. The winner, I think, is. Number 4, Houston, 5-2. I just don't see it. BYU and Cincinnati has to lose twice. I think, yeah. Texas Tech is they'll be 6-2 if they lose. But Texas Tech destroyed Houston, so. Number 5 is Utah, 4-2. Number 6, Arizona State, 4-2. It's basically Texas Tech versus the winner of BYU Cincinnati. It's at Cincy this time too, and BYU has not always had an easy win on the road yet. ACC. The committee made it clear we're getting one team from the ACC. Number 1 is Georgia Tech. Number 2 is Virginia. Number 3 is Pitt. Number 4 is SMU. And number 5 is Duke. Virginia, Georgia Tech, Pitt, and SMU are all 5-1. Duke is 4-1. And Louisville is 4-2. Miami is 3-2. Louisville and Miami aren't getting in. There's a 5-way tie. There's no way 4 of those teams lose, and they win the tiebreakers. Important games. We have Pitt at Georgia Tech. We have Georgia at Georgia Tech. Just important for Georgia to solidify a spot in the playoff. Virginia at Duke. We have Louisville at SMU. And Miami at Pitt. Those are just some big games. Pitt has some great opportunities right here, but we will see what they're really about. I think Georgia Tech's going to come out on top of the ACC. If it's not them, then it's going to be Pitt. Then the American. When Memphis looked like they were in pole position to take it, I never thought they were the best. I thought South Florida was the best because they have the best resume, best wins, and they have dominated most of those games. They lost to Memphis on a walk-off field goal. They missed a field goal. No, they lost by 3. Yeah, they missed the field goal. They were up by 14. They choked because Memphis is good at comebacks. Number 1, Navy is 5-1. Number 2, South Florida is 4-1. Number 3, Tulane is 4-1. Number 4, North Texas is 4-1. Number 5, East Carolina is 4-1. I think the committee is going to put South Florida above these other teams because they just look more impressive. And Navy just lost to Notre Dame 49-10. They are not. You can't put Navy in there now that they have 2 losses. Notable games, you have USF at Navy. Oh, yeah. South Florida's losses, the wins make up for it. South Florida at Navy. Memphis at East Carolina. Memphis can't make the playoffs anymore. I just don't see them getting in there with a 5-way tie for first place. So, like I said, I think South Florida is the best team in the group of 5 altogether. I think Alex Golish is going to find a way to get a big job, especially with how all these jobs are open right now. But thank you so much for still watching. This is the Result Report Season 3, Episode 12. I am Isaac Woodall, and I will see you later.